Welcome everybody back to Field to Table. You cannot see anything except for, I don't know, maybe a still image or something, whatever Joe decides to do. Because Joe is going to have to produce this all by himself with no help since he broke the camera. He is now completely responsible for doing this by hand.
Hand cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hand cut, straight farm to table. Yeah, welcome back everybody. Please like, share, hits all the buttons, the notifications, the follows, the subscribes, all the things on YouTube and Instagram at Field Pulse. And we're launching these live. No, not live. We're launching them every Friday. Correction. If you can't tell, I'm a little off.
You sound a little stuffy.
I would like to title, I would like to title this episode particularly what did I say earlier? Yeah, the decongestion session. I've been under the weather the last couple of days. The spring has sprung in Texas, and allergies are a real thing.
Is that why we're audio only, so they can't look at your?
Yeah, they can't look at my inflamed face. I guess I don't know.
Marks and
makes me feel better, anyways. Which I got to get on a video call right after this. So, whatever.
Aren't you doing is it a podcast too?
Yes.
Nice.
Podcast with a partner of ours. Do you ever get allergies, Ben?
Yeah. I usually get them in the springtime. I haven't gotten them yet. So probably
hurry
soon.
up.
But no, I'm pretty much not allergic to many things. So,
I didn't used to be. I grew up. I was telling them right before we started, I wasn't allergic to anything ever. I was in Boy Scouts, went camping all the time. No poison no poison oak, no poison ivy, nothing. And then either on my 23rd or my 25th birthday, I don't remember which, we went camping with some friends for a long weekend. And on the day we were coming back, I woke up and I think it was my right hand, right arm, elbow, armpit, shoulder, neck, up into my ear. It looked like I had like a fighter ear, like cauliflower ear. My whole right side of my face was red. I looked like Hunchback of Notre Dame or something. It was bad. So I packed everything up real quick and hauled ass back into town and went straight to my doctor and told him what happened, what is going on. And he just walked in and was just laughing. He's like, well, you got poison oak or poison ivy.
I swear you were going to say it was the hot coffee thing again.
No. No, we did not drink a whole lot of coffee that trip. But no, he just kind of laughed and said, yeah, it's poison oak or sumac or ivy or whatever. So, there you can get that soapy stuff where you can wash it off and it kind of takes the itch away and kind of helps soothe it a little bit. Had to tell me about all that kind of stuff, but I said, Doc, I'm not allergic to that kind of stuff. He just kind of shrugged and said, well, you are now. So, what do you mean now? He goes, your allergies change as you get older, so you get allergic to different things. And now I'm freaking allergic to everything. It drives me crazy.
You're weak.
Yeah, I've become weak. I used to be just invincible.
Your body has betrayed you. Yeah, no, when I was a kid, never got poison ivy. So I used to like prove to people I couldn't get it, rub it all over myself. Ha, look at me. And then I think I might have been like 17. It just happened.
Yep.
And like, well, there it goes. No longer invincible. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's weird that happens. Do you have other allergies besides plants?
No, just seasonal stuff.
Food allergies?
Nope.
Peanuts?
Nope.
That's good. What about milk, lactose?
Oh, dude, I drink. My son and I drink a gallon of milk in about 3 days. We put down some milk.
I'm a little lactose intolerant, but I just suck it up because I like
because it's so good.
I like dairy too much. It's worth the pain most of the time.
Yeah, growing up between my dad, my brother, and I, my mom would stop and get a gallon of milk almost every day on the way home. We would drink a gallon of milk at dinner.
Built strong bones, right?
Yep. I've never broken a bone, and sometimes I really should have.
Milk.
Mm-hmm.
I had some friends growing up who broke bones all the time. And there's like a running joke with our friend group of like, dude, drink milk, man. Like, stop drinking water. They'd break a bone every few months. It's crazy.
Those are fragile people. Every couple of months?
Yeah, or they just did stupid stuff.
I
Like,
was gonna ask, did they earn it? Was it completely accidental, or did they earn it, like,
no,
trying to be Evil Knievel?
they weren't like tripping down a two stair. Like they were, you know, jumping off of like a 20-foot swing and doing dirt
Okay,
bikes and, you
alright,
know,
alright.
four wheelers,
So,
accidents.
they earned it.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
was their fault. I'm
yeah.
not sure I'd phrase it as they earned it, but
Well, and what you said, like, they didn't trip over something stupid
sure.
and, being clumsy, that would not be earning it. That's just a bad accident, but when you are doing Evil Knievel shit and you fall off of a dirt bike or, the swing when it's perfectly parallel with the ground, that's earning it.
Yeah, they're not Mr. Glass. Which I don't know if you know.
Yes, I actually watched that movie.
Recently?
No, I watched the first one, Bruce Willis.
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable, yeah. I thought that was
We'll
interesting.
always go back to movies. Have you seen the somewhat sequels?
No, I saw it on I think HBO or Netflix. Maybe it's there now. I haven't watched it, but I saw that they made a sequel to it. Have they made any others?
Well, there's technically three. So there's Unbreakable from the 90s, I want to say, 80s. And then they made this random spinoff. And if you don't know, this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to spoil a random movie trilogy, that's not really a trilogy.
Okay.
Fast forward. Um, what is the movie with the guy that has all the personalities?
Oh
Split.
yeah, I
Thank
did
you.
watch that.
So
That
Split,
was good. That's
yeah.
part of that.
So okay, so if you don't, so watch the third Glass, and it'll all make sense.
Okay.
The
All
guy
right.
from Split is in Glass
Okay.
with Bruce Willis and the other guy,
Okay.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. That
Split,
was borderline creepy.
yeah, Split. I mean, we were talking about horror movies last week. That was like the top of my scary level, but it was really
Your
good.
tolerance
Oh
levels.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it was a little bit past actually. I had to
Okay.
close my eyes a few times, but I made it through. No, Split was super good. What's his name? Dave McAvoy or something like that.
I have no idea.
I think his last name's McAvoy. James McAvoy. There we go. Incredible actor.
Yeah, that
He's
was
also an X Men, Mister X, I think, or Professor. Yeah, Charles Xavier. Thank you,
you
Joe
lost me there.
or Matt. Anyways, he's a good actor. Yeah, Split was crazy, man. Him. It must be a fun role for like an actor, you know, like practicing other personalities. Like you're basically doing like 9 movies at once, you know.
Yeah, so that's in the world of acting, I would think that's real work. Like having to actually change and be dedicated to the change. That's got to be. I can't even imagine. I don't understand actors as it is as a starting off point, but to be able to change like that, that's got to be. That's like you said. You're making 9 different movies at the same time.
Yeah, and the way I mean, there's some scenes where it's like one continuous shot, and
Yeah,
he just flip flops, and
that's
it's
what I
like,
was gonna
holy
say.
cow, how do you do this?
Yep.
It's impressive. There's actually some. Have you heard of, or have you heard Leonardo DiCaprio or James Cameron talking about Titanic?
No.
It's kind of interesting. So when DiCaprio first like auditioned for it, I don't think they liked him or something for some reason. I think he was too cocky or something, which is kind of funny, which
Okay.
sounds about right. Um, and for some reason, there was some like disconnect with the role where DiCaprio kept asking and wanting like more of a backstory and more of like a tragedy or a trauma.
Uh huh.
And Cameron has this like famous quote of like, no, you have to like sell the character and emotion without that. So I guess like it was kind of a crutch for
Okay.
DiCaprio to like
Okay.
to get into the actor, to get into the mode, he needed like deep backstories and deep stuff. And Cameron was like, nope, you're just a kid. Like figure it out, you know, which is kind of interesting.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
go for it, son.
Acting is cool.
I don't think I could. I think I might be able to do it for like a short stint. If we were making like a commercial or something. Like we've done
We've seen you get into character.
yeah, we've done the Thor things, and that's fun, and I can do that for a very condensed period of time. But to stretch that out on like a movie set for months, I don't think I have the bandwidth for it to keep it up.
I remember learning, I don't know, 10 years ago that actors didn't memorize lines, and it like destroyed me. I was like, because I thought as a kid, like they were just, I mean, how do they memorize a whole
Yeah, yeah,
hour of
yeah.
all this stuff? But like most actors just roll up and like they read lines over and over right on set,
Uh huh.
and they kind of know their stuff, obviously, but some don't even like some actors who are like known for being lazy don't even like look. They're like, all right, tell me the line. Here we go
Yeah.
for the first time. It's crazy.
Kudos to them.
You got some sticky notes on your
I do have
leg
sticky
there.
notes today. We actually do have a topic, believe it or not. Something that we actually do want to talk about today. We were recently, the entire marketing team, I can't say that, most of the marketing team, we were at a customer of ours last week filming a little series we call In the Field. Check it out on YouTube, coming very, very soon. The idea behind it is dirty jobs meets more of a business background where we're trying to get into and showcase the business. And so we wanted to expand on a short conversation that we had with Sal while we were on set, if you can call it, which really we were on the job with him working. And I think it's something that we need to talk about and something that other trades guys need to hear and start talking about as well is generally speaking is networking and getting to know other people and not being so siloed in your business, in your locality, and furthermore in your life, which we can talk about that for a minute. But um, I'm interested to hear your perspective on what you think is changing because do you think it's a generational thing or do you think it's a necessity where people used to be siloed, everybody used to be competition with everybody, and now people are kind of starting I can imagine people like meerkats, they're kind of peeking up over the hill and they're kind of starting to see other people and they're starting to go to lunch together and they're starting to make coaching groups and networking groups and kind of getting back to if you know anything about the history of these Rotary clubs that were always
Mhm.
local, they really died down for many, many years, and I'd say even a couple decades, and now they're kind of starting to gain popularity. What do you what do you think is the driving force behind that?
It's actually funny. I never thought about like networking happy hours is a new Rotary Club.
Yeah,
Uh,
it kind of is.
if we called it that, it'd probably die pretty quick.
Yeah,
But
but I think it's generational. Personally, I don't think it's a necessity. I think as the older generation retires and moves on, or builds their business to a fact that they don't need to be so involved in it anymore. And the younger generation, the younger guys and girls coming in, they're used to having a friend group. They're used to having, you know, just that. They're used to having a life, a social life, and they're bringing that into their work life.
yeah, I think social media has had somewhat of an impact. I think just the way business and like education and that stuff has changed has had an impact. So like if you grew up like my parents, like our parents probably like in the 60s, 70s, went to work in the 80s or 90s. Most of that's like not entrepreneurial. It's very much like you go to work
Hmm.
20 years, same company, you get a pension, you retire.
Yep.
Right. That's kind of the trajectory of most Americans. That was the American dream is get a job for 40 years at one company,
The
buy a
American norm, I
house.
would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy a house and retire, pay off your house by the time you're 60. That's kind of the vibe. It's very different now.
Hmm.
Like most kids don't even want to buy a house. They like want to travel. They want to rent fancy apartments for outrageous numbers in New York or whatever.
Here
Um,
too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not quite like 15K a month
No,
for
no.
a studio, but um, yeah. So I think that has changed. Everyone nowadays wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to own their own business. Everyone wants to hustle and um, have side gigs.
Hmm.
It used to be a rarity to have a side gig, and now it's like weird if you don't.
Yeah.
If you're an up and coming like young, kind of worker, staying at a job for more than 3 or 4 years is super rare these days. All that kind of stuff has changed. So I think just that is the biggest thing. I don't think it's like humans are different. I think it's just the landscape of work is
Sure.
different. Um, because if you think about it, if you wanted a job for 40 years, what's the point of networking? You got
Yeah,
your
you're
job, you're
there, you're
good.
set.
Exactly.
Yeah, show up on Monday, leave on Friday. What else do you need?
Exactly. But if you want to job hop every 2 years and you want to stair step and ladder your education and your career,
Mhm.
then it makes sense because, I mean, statistically, at least in my field, marketing, you can always make more money by hopping and getting new experience and new skills and new job offers than you can staying at one place.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying it's a better idea. I'm just saying that's like a
That's
fact.
just the reality.
It is. And so like that's what everyone wants to do. They want to network, meet new people, find that new opportunity, and stair step and ladder their career, you know.
Yeah. To put that in perspective for the trades, and one thing that I see and hear about, um, our customer base and trade business owners doing, and this is something that I did as well, is it's not all about career advancement. It's also about finding a way out of jobs that you don't always want to do. So there's a lot of plumbers that will know other plumbers because they don't want to do sewers. So they find another plumber who wants to do sewers, and then they just trade work back and forth. Or they find a plumber on another part of town that they don't want to go to geographically. And so they find that plumber down there that they get to know, they like them, and and it's a two-way street, so those referrals come in back and forth. And what I always did, coming from a construction background, I always had a black book full of plumbers, HVAC guys, roofers, sheetrockers, tile guys, concrete guys, bricklayers, masons, all the trades that you need to build a house and do the renovations that I was doing at a big scale. When I was running my handyman business, there was just a lot of stuff that I didn't want to do. People would call me for and like want an estimate for doing it, but I hated doing tile. I still hate doing tile. I'm not fast at it. I'm good at it, but I'm not fast at it. And so I don't want to waste my time doing it. So here, call the tile guy. And then he gets a tile job that needs a whole bunch of trim work done because the baseboards are ruined or a door casing's chewed up or something. Hey, call the handyman. He can come replace it. So those relationships that I formed with all those people over the years worked out very well. And it was an awesome two-way street. Um, but to get back to where we started though with Sal, he's been in the industry long enough that he noticed when he got into the industry, everybody was siloed. Everybody was competition, everything was cutthroat. You know, you nobody talked to anybody, and now he sees the industry changing where like where we are now in the conversation where people are starting to talk to each other. People are starting to trade notes back and forth and um eh, kind of an aside to the webinar series that we did, and Gina Camacho had a slide
Mhm.
from Blue Recruit about how to incentivize new workers with an at-home option, a work from home option. I was waiting for bated breath with that slide to come along her presentation because I had no idea what she was talking about. And this is slightly off topic, but it is in the vein of things changing where you can have your lead technician work from home and be the technical expert on call for everybody working out in the field that day. I just thought that was brilliant, and it's an example of what we're kind of talking about here. The way that the professional landscape and the trade service business landscape is changing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah. As far as what you were talking about more of like Sal and your business and networking, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how it applies to a larger business. I mean, I'm sure like once you grow a certain extent, like it kind of the value of networking, I feel like dies unless you just keep growing somehow at insane rates. But when you're just starting out or you're a small company,
Mhm.
that can be super powerful. So, like for instance, um, if you are a I guess really any field service industry. If you're a home service industry, let's call it plumbing.
Mhm.
If you get to know a bunch of HVAC people, a bunch of landscaping people, a bunch of whatever different industries that also service homes, like, and you create that network of referrals and
Mhm.
business, then like you're just gonna grow faster. But I figure at a certain point, like the growth kind of slows down.
It can, and I'll challenge you by saying I think the relationships would have to morph and change where maybe you're looking for that two-way street, that referral type business, but then I think as your business gets bigger and bigger and more successful and grows and scales, for most people that's uncharted territory. Then you need to go, and in a subcategory of networking would be these coaching groups, so these mentoring groups that people are a part of now. So then you need to go seek out business owners who are at, you're at half a million, this person's at 3 million. You're trying to get to 3 million, so you're going to go find a $3 million business owner. Hey, what lessons have you learned? How can we help each other? How can you help me? Is really what it comes down to at the end of these conversations. What lessons have you learned that maybe I don't have to learn the hard way to get to 3 million, and we're not competition in the middle of doing this? I think that relationship would change. And maybe you have that relationship for a long time, and you can get that professional business owner. That's what I'm trying to say, where that conversation would morph into that over time. But then also you're gonna I can see you as a small business owner. You're just trying to network, you're just trying to get two-way street referrals, but then you have to go find someone. You have to seek someone out, and you have to send them an email. You have to call them, hey, would you want to go to lunch with me? Well, could we go out to dinner? Could I take you and your wife out to dinner? I'd love to pick your brain. Um, so those relationships where it's a old saying, uh, there's a difference between working in your business and working on your business.
Mhm.
I think working in your business is small business owners, and then you have to change and morph into working on your business.
Yeah, even as a small, I mean, really any size,
True.
you should. I've got a brother who's in the industry, and I tell him like, hey, like work 3 weeks out of a month, and then work that 1 week out of the month on networking, on
Mm-hmm.
marketing, on doing all that stuff for your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think that really changes. That should be it's a pretty good standard. Obviously, you can't always do that. You've got crunch time and you got busy season and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
you do have
the
things come up.
more honestly, if you're trying to grow, the more you work on your business, the faster you're going to grow.
Yeah, and I think it's important, and this is something that's changing too, that I think we should talk about, is people are recognizing the differences that they have, and I'm struggling to find a real example. It's in my head, I can think about it, but to orate this in a way that makes sense, is trying to find somebody that you can collaborate with on projects. Like, for instance, a lot of HVAC guys call a lot of electricians to change out breakers, to local codes require this and that, requirement, and you know plumbers of course know electricians, and as much as they begrudge them, they need them at certain times and periods throughout their jobs. But finding someone who is almost like a polar opposite for something that you need, and getting back to what I was saying, like something that you don't want to do or not licensed to do. But then also where that translates into working on your business is, I see this a lot and people talking about this a lot. Hey, I need how are you guys getting leads for your business? Is Facebook working for y'all? Is Instagram working for y'all? Is Google, is all these things working, kind of getting into your territory of marketing stuff? And so to find someone, say a plumber, finding someone like you who knows marketing, who's not a plumber, you're polar opposite professions and industry experts and things. It'd be nice for Ben to know a plumber, to have a buddy that's a plumber, and be able to call a buddy who's a plumber, and then, yeah, I'll trade you some marketing advice.
Yeah, yeah, I think that stuff is what makes more sense. So getting back to you talking about the half a million, what, 2 to 4 man shop kind of
Hmm.
range to the 3 million, right? 10 man crew. I feel like at some point you've got to figure out a way to add value for them because I mean, unless they're like a mentor, which everybody should try to have at least one mentor, business related, which you can figure out your own way to do that, a close friend or
Hmm.
whatever, all that kind of stuff. Unless they're a mentor, I feel like it's going to be a strange relationship because as a smaller company, you really don't have much to offer the larger company. Um, so it's you got to figure that out.
Mhm.
But yeah, the smaller stuff, yeah, trading services is always, and that's pretty common. Video work, marketing services, plumbing. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's pretty common. So yeah, I don't know where else you were going with that.
I don't know either, and I'm trying to work through my sinus headache. I apologize.
Mm.
Um, but one thing, another thing that Sal was talking about is, and I've heard our customers talk about this too, is hiring people who have different strengths and weaknesses, and the that rubber really hits the road because we are a software company and because we do have elder business owners who don't know anything about this. They don't want to learn it. They don't want to integrate it. They don't da 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 da. But they hand it over to the youngest person on their team, who's the tech wizard of the team. And I advocate a lot for the general manager or the owner. This comes back to like implementation and training while they're getting onboarded and getting used to using a new software stack, a new software platform. We can only teach you so much. We can only take you so far. We're not in your business. We don't know all the intricacies of how you do things. So let us train your most technically advanced staff member, whoever that may be. Let's turn them into your local field pulse expert within your business. And it might be the youngest tech. It might be your admin. It might, whoever that may be in your office, regardless of their role. Let's turn them into the tech expert inside of your company, and they can then answer the inevitable questions that the rest of your staff,
Day to day stuff.
yeah, the day to day, the intricacies. But to go back to where I started, hiring people with skills that you don't have, I can't say enough how important that is to not just hire the same old people over and over and over again and just wonder why your business isn't growing, isn't working, isn't scaling. What's going on, what's going on. Well, think outside the box a little bit and try and get somebody else on the door that thinks about something differently, and don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, I think that applies to all business. I think business owners are scared typically to hire things that they're not familiar with.
Hmm.
So, a guy knows what he knows, so he's going to hire people that look like him. This is pretty
Yeah,
common, right?
that happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the go-to. And if because the flip side is, well, he looks way different than me. I don't mean looks, obviously, but like experience
Yeah.
and how he operates and workflows, then it's you got more of a risk, and business owners do not like risk. That's like
Hmm.
rule one,
Hmm.
minimize risk. And so yeah, you're right, but at a certain point, you've just got to weigh the risk of personalities and experience and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So
And the risk, but then also the possibility. And that's the flip side. That's the flip side of the coin of risk is potential and possibility. A perfect example of this is Sal, who we were with last week filming. He hired a young woman. Uh, she's not even done with school yet. She's not even done with HVAC training school yet. And uh, story is, he got called to her parents' house. Heater wasn't working in the dead of winter, which around here in Texas doesn't really mean much, but their heater wasn't working. And
we have some cold winters
yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes. But she had already gotten up in the attic and diagnosed it as a bad flame sensor in their natural gas heater. And her parents asked her, "Hey, just go ahead. You know what it is. Just go ahead and replace the part." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm right. Let's still call somebody just to double check." And so Sal showed up, and sure enough, it was a bad flame sensor. And she explained to him how she diagnosed it and all the troubleshooting that she went through. He offered her a job on the spot. Like, what you're doing already. You know how to do this, this, and this. That's incredible. So he went ahead and hired her on the spot. She's now working for him part time. She's still at school. She
Wow.
still has a full time job. She's an incredible young woman. But getting back to kind of where we started on this tangent was, don't be afraid to hire somebody that doesn't fit the mold or doesn't fit the traditional mold. And she does not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, just a good rule of thumb is hire people who are motivated and smart,
Yeah.
and both those things are very important. And you got to weigh your levels of motivation slash experience, stuff like that. But having a really motivated person can be a game changer, especially in a young, small company.
And I've heard that particular sentiment over and over and over again from business coaches from other podcasts that I listen to talking about, and I even talked to a guy in person out in Carrollton. He was kind of a business coach kind of guy. Actually trying to get him in here. And he used to run a very large operation for a nationwide franchise group. And I think he had 3 or 4 states under his belt. And he used to go purposely take his car to different oil change places and pay attention to how those oil change guys were doing their work, communicating with the customer, you know, customer service, all the communication thing. He went to all these very specific places. He went to high end restaurants to talk to high end waiters because they're great salespeople. And he made everybody laugh. He said, "You got to be real careful with this one, but you can also do this. Pick up, try and hire the teachers from daycares." He said, "Now you have to have a kid, and you have to have a reason to walk into a daycare. You can't just walk in and start hiring people." But he said, "You can imagine a daycare teacher being like a CSR, a customer service rep on the phone for your
Sure.
company. They're so good at empathizing with people and wanting to solve problems and, and just being."
De escalating.
Yes, de-escalating tantrums on the phone, So he had lots of little ideas and little nooks and crannies of where to find really good people who had nothing to do with the trades industries at all. And he would always say, "I can teach you how to diagnose an HVAC system. That's the easy part. I can't teach you drive. I can't teach you motivation. It's really hard to teach sales tactics. But if you're just naturally good at it, then let's go." And he'd hire him on. Can you guess which of those professions is the hardest one to hire away from their job?
Daycare. What else?
Daycare, high-end waiters, oil change staff.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one. And there was another one. Oh, it's on the part of my brain that's not working right now.
I could see day. I mean, my guess would be waiter.
Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I've known some waiters at high end restaurants,
Yeah.
and
They're
I don't
making
think well they make a lot of money.
they're
Yeah,
making scratch.
they don't always love their job. So I think
No.
anybody could want to quit because they hate their boss or they
Yeah.
hate their regular customers. That's
Yeah.
common. But yeah, I'm guessing they make a lot more than a daycare
Yeah.
person.
They do.
But
Yeah, he told a story in that class about having the bigwigs into town to come look at his region or whatever, and they went out to dinner, and their waiter was just on point all night long. The whole 5-star service, the whole thing. And the big shot bigwig wrote on a piece of paper his phone number and a dollar amount, and it had a dollar sign and 3 numbers next to it, and gave it to the waiter and said, "You call me, you'll make this." And the waiter said, no thanks. I'm already making that. I like it here. I work when I want to." And just kind of gave it back and said, "No, I'm good."
yeah,
That guy he didn't know what to do.
double it.
Yeah.
Try again.
Which I think part of me thinks after driving away from that is like, that's a genius. That waiter in that instance was genius because he might have been completely excited about the number and like, "Oh, that's amazing." But he wasn't that person to like take the offer and then realize later that, oh, they said yes too fast, where I'm sure you've had jobs like that where you've
Hmm.
you've asked for a number and they said yes and you're like, "Shit, could have gotten more."
Yeah, or you get overly excited and the opportunity is not very legit or real. And
Yeah.
I if I was waiting a table and some dude hands me a napkin with a number on it, I'm not sure how much I'd believe it was real.
Yeah.
But I guess depending on the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get in trouble if you say no,
Yeah, maybe.
depending on the restaurant, and get
Yeah.
whacked.
Yeah, just get axed. You don't
Yeah.
have a you don't have a schedule anymore.
Now you're making 0.
Yeah. Well,
What else you got? How's stuff going with you outside of, field service management?
everything's pretty good. I
Yeah?
finally have the weekend off this weekend. I'm very excited to not be moving dirt anymore. So excited.
No more dirt
No more
in your
dirt.
big giant football field garden?
No. I am 99% done with that. My tiller did completely fall apart on me. Very sad.
You got one of those, like, small gas tillers, or what is it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a little walk behind.
Old school kinda?
Yeah, and it's only got like, I don't know, 6 wheels, 6 little tines on it
Uh-huh.
or something, and man, we were bebopping along, we were tilling up things, and we were, making paths and cutting down high spots of dirt and everything, and then it just stopped turning. The engine still runs, the throttle still works, all the stuff, but the
Mm.
tines don't turn anymore. And I got it unlocked, and then I put my ear real close down to the gearbox, and I turned it, and all I hear was just metal crunching, and I so $165 later, I'll have it fixed next week.
Cool.
Turning into a mechanic instead of a gardener.
How are your spuds doing?
They are getting big, very, very big. They're almost waist high now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, any minute they'll fall over. The stems will all fall over, and then they'll start spreading and growing across the ground.
You gotta give us a picture.
I sent one in,
Take
didn't I?
a
Well,
photo.
I sent Matt a picture of the big one, but I didn't send you a picture of the potato bed yet. I'll do that.
We'll check in next week, and we'll get a picture
Yep,
on the screen for
yep.
everybody to
I'll
see.
try not to get all the weeds that are growing up against the fence. I'm not.
Ah,
I'm not paying attention to those right now.
we'll ignore that. We'll get them to edit that and post.
Yeah.
Take out
Yeah.
take out the weeds.
Just, I don't know, put up a fence or something in the back.
AI. Probably could, yeah, just scrap out the potato and AI
Yeah.
background.
Well, other than that, man, everything's good. How's your family?
Good, good. Everyone's cool. We're enjoying the new house.
I was just
New
gonna ask, you getting settled in and
We are. I think I'm the last one to have boxes, so my office still has 4 or 5,
well,
but,
you're at work all day, so that makes
yeah,
sense.
that'll take another month probably to get my office situated. Gotta hang some art, gotta unbox some things. But yeah, we're enjoying it. Neighborhood's nice, very quiet,
Well, that's
way
nice.
more quiet than our last one, so
Yeah,
that's
us we
nice.
we made a similar move. We were funny enough, we were down the street from a fire station at our old house, and now we're even closer to a fire station at our new house, but they don't turn the sirens on in the neighborhood.
Mm.
They'll roll with all the lights on, but they don't turn the sirens on in the neighborhood. It's very polite, and we really, really appreciate it. In the old house, they would turn them on like as soon as they're rolling out the door.
Oh, I see what you
Guys,
mean.
really?
Yeah.
We see you.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's probably a rule where they should turn their sirens on, but
Yeah, and it's
they
it's
can
city
roll
by
out of it.
city,
Yeah.
and in Little Elm, apparently they have to have the siren blaring before the doors all the way up. I get it.
Like in the station.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
then in Plano, they just roll down. I mean, every once in a while they'll roll down our intersecting street down there, and it's just the lights, and then it's just a little zoom there, and then they're gone, and it's nice.
Yep. Yep. Now we were on a corner of 2 decently it's in a neighborhood, but busy streets for
Kind of
some
like the
reason.
main thoroughfare for the neighborhood type thing.
Yeah, 2 of the main
Oh,
cross streets.
shoot.
We're on the corner, so, like, both streets, like, every few seconds, car goes by, and,
That
I
just gets
mean,
annoying.
yeah, it was not ideal. So, now we get like, 3 cars every 5 hours. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, big improvement. Kids are doing good, doing their kid thing. My daughter started playing, at home. She got a little football. She's, like, into football now, which is cute.
Okay.
Didn't really expect that. Taught her how to throw a spiral, and she's pretty much got it down, which is
Okay.
pretty impressive.
Wow.
But yeah, she can. I'll show you a video later, but she can shoot it right to my chest pretty quick.
All
So
right.
Proud of that.
There are all girls playing quarterback in high school football. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what like we'll probably get her into sports next year ish, maybe.
Okay.
My wife really wants her to play soccer because she played soccer, of
Uh-huh.
course. I don't really have a preference, so she can do whatever she wants. Golf,
That'd be fun.
tennis, whatever.
I told my daughter she was not playing soccer.
Why?
She's not nearly mean enough to play soccer.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I got down on her level face to face and I explained this to her. You like the idea of playing soccer because all your friends play. The first second you get kicked in the shins, even with shin guards on, you will quit. So I'm not going to pay the registration fee and the uniform and the shorts and the cleats and the socks and the pads and take you to at least 6 practices for you to last 37 seconds in a game and say how bad your leg hurts because there are mean girls out on that soccer field. And she didn't believe me. So I've finally got the opportunity for her to watch like a high school girls soccer game and watch them like go after each other. And all right.
Daniel made a grimacing face.
Yeah, it was kind of a,
Audio listeners.
oh, wow face. Um,
Well, I mean, I don't think high school is quite apples to apples to what she's 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I just wanted her to, and I didn't take her. She had a different opportunity to go, but I just let her see like that's your future. That's what you'll have to do. And she's just not. She doesn't have it in her.
No, that's not just girls. That's just soccer.
Yeah,
Like I had a bunch of, I never played, but I had two best friends growing up who played from like age, I don't know the grades, but second through high school. And dude, it's just a high contact sport.
yeah,
It's honestly like, it's probably not worse injury wise than football, but it looks worse.
yeah,
Like they look like they're going after each other,
yeah.
Yeah, no, my daughter can take the pain. She'd be cool, but
All
she
right.
is way too sweet. And so she would never fight back. She would never like do what she needed to do.
But do you think she has it in her to like to find that fire to ever do that, to ever fight back, to ever like get mad and get even?
I don't know. I don't see that yet.
Okay.
I'm not mad about it. She's totally sweet. So I don't know.
Yeah, my daughter does not. It's not enough fiber in her being.
I mean, she cries when like an ant dies, you know.
Yeah, definitely
So
not. Maybe softball's more her sport.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. My son's got a little baseball
Uh-huh.
t-ball set and everything. That's the one sport she does not seem to care about. She's into football, into soccer, into volleyball.
Okay.
Likes to,
Volleyball's
likes
fun.
to throw the frisbee around.
Okay.
Could not care less about baseball, which is
So
strange.
she's gonna be a 12-year-old frisbee golf prodigy, is what we're getting at.
Could be, could be.
Frisbee golf is fun.
Yeah, that's a low contact sport.
Very low contact.
Yeah, I mean she might hit a butterfly.
Oh, no, then she would quit.
Have to clear the field. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of want her to try the more like off the wall kind of stuff, like frisbee or golf. Not
Yeah,
like they're off the wall, but just not your typical soccer mom kind of
yeah,
thing. Just for fun.
yeah, and behind the scenes, my wife and I both said that we're not going to soccer games just because of all the other soccer parents. We would probably just drop her off and leave
Mm,
because we're not doing that.
I can drink the Kool Aid.
No. So now
Yeah,
we're relegated to softball games that the this is our latest softball game adventure. The ad- I don't even know what you call him. The top guy for the league,
coach.
commissioner,
Uh,
coaches one of the teams, and they played my daughter's team last week. Um, for,
wait. The commissioner also coaches a team.
yes,
That seems like a conflict of
you
interest.
think?
Yeah, I'm
And
guessing he won.
oh, who do you think won? A blowout. And even my daughter, who is 10 years old and is an okay hitter, she's okay. She's not the best on the team, but she's definitely not the worst on the team.
Wait, I zoned out. Which sport is this? Softball.
Softball.
Okay,
Um,
zoned back in.
even she was seeing pitches come in, hit the ground before home plate and then being called out on strikes. And she almost cried at the plate of like, what do you mean that's a strike? What do you mean? And just almost broke down. And Lindsay's like, just go. Don't argue. Just go back to the dugout. It's not worth it. Just go.
Yeah, it might be worth it. I'd throw a fit.
I was at home with our son that night because it was her turn to go, and I really wasn't feeling good. But I also told her after the fact and the next day when she told me all that it's really good I didn't go. And baseball fans will understand this reference. I would have just been screaming Angel Hernandez the whole time. He is, bar none, the worst umpire that baseball has ever had.
Is he like bad or is he like corrupt?
He's just really bad at his job.
Huh.
There's an entire Instagram page, Twitter feed, Facebook page, all the things to please get Angel Hernandez out of Major League Baseball. He is so bad at doing his job.
You'd
And
think that wouldn't be like that hard to do.
you would think, but they have an umpires union, and so you can't get fired.
Yeah, let's avoid that topic of
Yeah.
discussion.
But he's really bad. And I said, okay, well then this worked out that I should not have gone to that game because I would have.
So you think he was just bad? It wasn't like the commissioner, convincing him to kind of lean towards one of the teams.
Definitely the latter.
Okay, all right. Well, you want to shout out that guy's name?
I don't know his
on
name.
air. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Just Angel Hernandez.
Blast him.
Just get Angel Hernandez out of baseball, please.
Look, man, if you're commissioning a team, not sure that's the right verbiage, and you coach a team, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That should be against the rules.
It really should be.
Is this so what is this like? Is there an organization behind this?
Yeah.
What is it?
SVAA.
Okay.
Yep.
We should call somebody.
Yeah, we should.
Call him on air.
Write him a very stern letter.
Next week we'll call him live on the show and ask him
explain
about this.
Explain how.
Please explain. Yeah,
how
exactly.
the commissioner is allowed to coach.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually, we should do it.
Just get him on speakerphone.
Why not?
Just to hear him click.
There's a podcast I love. The main host will always like call somebody random and like like a celebrity or whatever.
Okay.
And like you're always surprised at how many answer, and then they talk for 30 seconds, and it's like, wow, that was shocking.
All right.
So,
well, that's all I got for today, Mr. Ben.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me again. This was fun. Missed the cameras.
Joe's fault.
Missed the lights. Yeah, Joe dropped the camera, so now he's grounded.
Oh man, he can't film anymore. He's just stuck on editing duty now forever.
God, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be happy about that.
Nope. All right, guys. Like, hit buttons, subscribe, dings and bells and whistles and all the stuff. And can we insert the clip of Meredith at our last?
We do have a new YouTube channel called Field to Table. That's where you should like, follow, subscribe. If you have any questions, email us at podcast@fieldpulse.com. I've been trying to get Daniel to say this shit. Ben's seniority depends on it.
Podcast@fieldpulse.com. If you want to send us an email, thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, why Meredith turned into a demon about the email address. I'm sorry, Meredith. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about the email address.
You have one job, Daniel.
Yeah, I just have one freaking job around here. Say podcast@fieldpulse.com at the end of every episode. Done.
If you're a customer, join our community, facebook.com/fieldpulse users official. If you're not a customer, well, what are you doing? Why not? Sign up. We'll change your life. That's all I got.
We can definitely change your business.
We can change something.
Yeah, we will definitely change something.
In the meantime, we're hitting the weekend and we're changing diapers.
Yes.
Boom.